Am I the a-hole for cutting off my dad after he cheated on mom and started a new family? My parents separated last year after my mom discovered that my dad had been cheating on her with a woman from his job. It wasn't just a fling or some random mistake. It turned out he had gotten her pregnant. The moment mom found out, it was over. She filed for divorce almost immediately. For me, everything we knew as a family crumbled in what felt like a single night. One moment, I thought my parents had a rocky but stable marriage, and the next, I was looking at my mom sobbing on the couch while my dad packed his things to go live with the woman he cheated with. After that, my dad wasted no time moving straight into an apartment with her. It was like he had been preparing for this all along, like he already had his plan B set up while still pretending to be part of our family. He started trying to pull me into this new life of his almost immediately. He would text me and call me, suggesting we meet her, that I could spend weekends with them, or that we could all have family dinners. But honestly, why would I want that? Why would I willingly sit across from the woman who helped blow up my mom's marriage, my family, my childhood? He swore up and down that he never meant to hurt me, that I was the most important thing in his life, that his love for me hadn't changed. But then he'd follow it up with excuses that just made things worse. He said he fell out of love with mom years ago and had only stayed with her until I turned 18, so I wouldn't grow up in a broken home. According to him, the affair was just a way for him to survive those last few years of marriage. Like, seriously? That was supposed to make it better? I remember staring at him in disbelief, thinking, are you even hearing yourself right now? I told him those were weak, pathetic reasons that didn't justify destroying our family. And that's when he dropped the real bomb. Apparently, he only married mom because she got pregnant with me. He said he never really wanted to marry her but felt trapped. Then, he complained that she never gave him more kids and that their sex life was awful. Imagine being 17 years old and having your dad say that to you. I couldn't even process it at first. I just snapped and told him flat out, "What the hell is wrong with you? That's not something you ever say to your kid." But instead of backing down, he brushed me off like I was overreacting. He said, "You're 17, you're old enough to know the truth." He claimed that being brutally honest, even if it was way too much information, was the only way to save our relationship. I shot back that the only way to save our relationship would be if he somehow undid the affair, undid the pregnancy, and undid the betrayal, which obviously he couldn't. And he just sat there acting like I'd eventually come around. It didn't stop there. Dad started showing up outside my school every Friday. He'd wait for me in the parking lot, trying to corner me into going to lunch with him or trying to pressure me into going to meet the other woman. When she gave birth, he actually showed up with the baby, like parading this kid around was going to magically make me soften and fall into the big brother role he was so desperate for me to play. I ignored him and later texted him that I would not be the involved big brother to his affair kid and that he couldn't force me into it. 3 months ago, the divorce was finalized. The ink was barely dry before my dad married her. And then, as if to twist the knife even further, he announced she was pregnant again. He said it like it was some wonderful, happy news we should all be excited about. Then he looked at me and said that now we were officially family, that I should meet my new siblings, and that it was time for us to start fresh together. He gave me this long speech about how he loved me, missed me, and didn't want to lose me. He kept insisting that none of this had to ruin our relationship, that we could all be happy together if I just gave it a chance. But the truth is, every time I look at him, I don't see my dad anymore. I see a man who lied to my mom, betrayed her, broke our family, and then had the nerve to act like I should just get over it, because he's happy now. I told him point blank. His actions destroyed my respect for him. I reminded him of his own words, that he only stayed with mom until I turned 18, and then he was ready to walk away. Well, guess what? I'm 18 now. And just like he was ready to ditch my mom, I'm ready to ditch him. I told him to leave me alone, and that I wasn't going to be a part of his affair family. He gave me a couple of weeks to come crawling back, as if I'd magically change my mind if he just waited it out. When I didn't, he switched to desperate messages and voicemails, pleading with me not to give up on him. And when that didn't work, he dragged other people into it. A few days ago, my grandma called me. She started asking why I was giving up on my dad, why I would pass up the chance to have siblings, and how I could just walk away from my own father. She tried to guilt-trip me with lines like, "Even imperfect parents matter," and "Imagine how you'll feel in 30 years if you miss the chance to say goodbye to your dad." She even tried to sell me on the idea of siblings, like that was some prize I'd regret missing out on. I told her honestly that I didn't care. His kids with her will never be my siblings in my eyes. They are the children of an affair, not my family. As far as I'm concerned, I already said goodbye to my dad the day I found out who he really was. There's nothing left for me to say to him. Grandma just sighed and told me I was being disappointing and that my attitude was a very 18-year-old way to look at things. Maybe she thinks it's just teenage rebellion. But I don't think it's immaturity. I think it's clarity. I finally see my dad for who he is, and I don't want him in my life anymore. So now I'm here wondering, am I the a hole for rejecting my dad and refusing to be part of his new family?